Did you know that some of Hollywood's biggest actors turned down roles in Marvel movies? That's right, those billion-dollar blockbusters that everyone loves almost had very different faces. In today's video, we're going to reveal the 15 actors who said no to Marvel and explain why they declined. Get ready to discover surprising stories and curiosities you never imagined. From failed negotiations to scheduling conflicts, the reasons are varied and fascinating. Plus, we'll show how these decisions impacted both the actors' careers and the Marvel movies themselves. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere because you're about to go behind the scenes of one of the greatest cinematic universes of all time. You are on the Nerd Genetics channel, and I'm very happy that you're here. The first on the list is Jason Momoa, the iconic Aquaman from DC, who was considered for the role of Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's right. At the time, Momoa turned down the role, stating that he wasn't interested in playing it. He explained that after his role as Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, he didn't want to be typecast as large, brutish characters with few lines. With Momoa out, the role of Drax went to Dave Bautista, who brought a unique and unforgettable interpretation to the character. Did you know that Joaquin Phoenix, our unforgettable Joker, almost became Marvel's Doctor Strange? And before finishing filming Joker, Phoenix was considered for the role but turned it down. As a result, Benedict Cumberbatch took on the mantle of Doctor Strange, delivering such an intense performance that it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role. Did you know that Jensen Ackles, widely recognized for his role as Dean Winchester in Supernatural and as Soldier Boy in The Boys, almost joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That's right, Ackles was very close to landing the iconic role of Captain America. However, the role ultimately went to Chris Evans, who perfectly embodied Steve Rogers and became synonymous with the character. But that's not where Jensen Ackles' Marvel journey ends. Marvel saw his potential and offered him another significant role, that of Hawkeye. Despite the exciting opportunity, Ackles had to turn it down due to his commitments to Supernatural. He explained that his filming schedule for the long-running show wouldn't allow him to take on the Marvel role. Ackles' near misses with Marvel only add to his impressive career narrative, showing that sometimes even the best actors face tough decisions and missed opportunities. And that's not all. Brad Pitt was once considered to play the God of Thunder, the mighty Thor. Despite the interest, the role didn't materialize and the reasons for Pitt's refusal were never revealed. At the time, his name was heavily reported, but it was Australian Chris Hemsworth who ended up donning Asgard's armor, becoming synonymous with the hero. Before Zoe Saldana was chosen as Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, Amanda Seyfried almost took the role. She was offered the part, but declined. In an interview, Seyfried revealed she didn't want to spend 6 months painted green every year. Her exact words were, "I turned it down once and they never called me again. It was a big role, but I don't regret it because I didn't want to be green for 6 months every year." Thus, the iconic role of Gamora went to Zoe Saldana, who brought the character to life amazingly. Did you know that Canadian actress Rachel McAdams almost became Pepper Potts in the first Iron Man in 2008? At the time, she turned down the role, which eventually went to Gwyneth Paltrow. Years later, the same actress got another chance to join the Marvel Universe. This time, she accepted the invitation to play Christine Palmer, Doctor Strange's love interest. This decision led her to be part of one of Marvel's most magical and mystical franchises. Marvel originally wanted Matthew McConaughey to play Ego, Star-Lord's father, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. McConaughey turned down the role, and Kurt Russell was chosen instead. In a candid statement, McConaughey explained that he didn't think the producers had a good idea for the character, and that they only approached him because they wanted a famous name in the cast. This refusal paved the way for Russell, who ended up becoming a memorable Ego in the Marvel Universe. The 2003 Daredevil movie was a big challenge for Ben Affleck, who ended up being the lead. In a 2016 interview, Affleck revealed his dissatisfaction with the film. Interestingly, he wasn't the first choice for the role. Initially, the offer was made to Matt Damon, an actor and screenwriter and longtime friend of Affleck, with whom he worked on the 1997 film Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon, a big fan of Daredevil comics since childhood, was quite interested in playing the character in the movie. However, despite his love for the hero, he declined due to the weak script and lack of confidence in the director. Thus, the role was passed to his friend Affleck, who, despite liking the character, ended up deeply dissatisfied with the final result of the film. Did you know that the great Mel Gibson, famous for various films, had a chance to join Marvel to play Odin, Thor's father, in the Solo Heroes franchise? Surprisingly, for undisclosed reasons, Gibson turned down the role, making it clear that he wasn't interested in such roles. With Gibson out of the picture, the role was officially given to Anthony Hopkins, who delivered a memorable performance as Thor's father. His interpretation brought depth and gravity to the character, establishing him as a central and imposing figure within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did you know that actress Scarlett Johansson almost wasn't Black Widow in the MCU? Initially, the studio had Emily Blunt in mind to star alongside Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. It was a surprising choice as Emily initially accepted the role. However, in an unexpected twist, Emily Blunt ended up losing the role to Scarlett due to scheduling conflicts. She was already committed to another film alongside Jack Black, Gulliver's Travels, and because of this commitment, she had to turn down the opportunity to be in the Marvel Universe. Thus, Johansson ended up being the final choice and solidified herself as the iconic Black Widow we know today. Did you know that actor Chris Pratt almost didn't become Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies? Initially, Marvel considered Joseph Gordon-Levitt for the role, and despite Marvel's initial interest, Gordon-Levitt wasn't completely convinced as he had another character in mind, the new role of Johnny in the upcoming Sin City sequel. But the surprise doesn't end there. Chris Pratt also hesitated initially to accept the role of Peter Quill due to concerns about his physical shape and weight. However, he eventually decided to dedicate himself intensely to the role, completely transforming to become the charismatic leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This decision not only defined his career, but also solidified his position as one of the most beloved heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Olivia Munn is famous for her roles in X-Men Apocalypse. Although recognized as Psylocke in the X-Men movies, Munn was initially offered the role of Vanessa in Deadpool. She turned down the role because she felt that Vanessa wasn't a superhero, unlike Psylocke, who had supernatural powers. Where Munn was looking for a role that showcased her extraordinary abilities and didn't want to be just Deadpool's girlfriend. Thus, the role of Vanessa went to Morena Baccarin, who brought her own intensity and charisma to the role, perfectly complementing the on-screen dynamic between her and Deadpool. J. John Krasinski had the fortune to play two superheroes at different points in his career. Before Chris Evans became Captain America, he was remembered for his role as the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movies. Surprisingly, the role of Steve Rogers could have gone to someone else, which would have completely changed the course of history. It's almost unimaginable to think of John Krasinski wielding Captain America's shield in 2011, but this possibility was very close to happening. In the end, the role went to Chris Evans, partly due to his deep connection with the comics. Russell Crowe is known for having been close to playing iconic roles, and in the case of Wolverine, the role ended up going to Hugh Jackman. Many questioned whether an Australian could adequately represent a Canadian hero that many considered American. Surprisingly, the first choice for the role of Wolverine in the original X-Men movies was Russell Crowe. Crowe, however, turned down the role, citing his role as Maximus in Gladiator. He felt he had already explored the wolf theme in that film and didn't want to repeat a similar theme in another project. Additionally, he had reservations about the X-Men universe, considering it more geared toward a younger audience and not seeing himself immersed in that type of character. However, Crowe suggested to Bryan Singer that he consider Hugh Jackman for the role, a decision that ended up defining Jackman's career and establishing him as the iconic Wolverine in the movies. Bryan Cranston almost joined X-Men First Class as Sebastian Shaw, a role that ended up being played by Kevin Bacon. Imagine Walter White almost entering the X-Men universe. But why didn't he do it? Cranston opted to star in Drive, a crime film alongside Ryan Gosling. At the time, Cranston was already a well-established name due to his iconic role in Breaking Bad, which raised debates about his acting ability for the role of Sebastian Shaw. It was a tough decision, dividing opinions between those who preferred to see him in X-Men First Class and those who loved his choice in Drive, leaving the path clear for Kevin Bacon to shine as the film's antagonist. So folks, these were some fascinating stories about the actors who almost became part of the Marvel Universe. From unexpected refusals to career-changing choices, each decision shaped what we know today on the big screen. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave your like to support the channel and help spread this content. Comment below on your biggest surprise and share with your friends who are also Marvel fans. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos full of curiosities like these. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.